and I felt like I was breathing a sponge. It was just so humid. Yeah, I gotta take this off already. And this morning it's been roughly the same.
With I and my team, we are ready to crush the demons into red paste.
Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Holy smokes. It has been both a combination of good and bad. It's almost like life just occurs. I cut up my hand this morning, very minor league, but I had a box fan in the window, and for some reason, after a couple days of me moving it, putting it, and up there, it fell out of the window this morning. And I had to open it up to get the broken fan blade out to see if it worked. That was what cut up my hand. And that fan that fell out of the window, yeah, it was cheap. It was also inexpensive. And I had to throw it out with one fan blade off. It's everywhere because it's off balance. Thumbs up for that. Money that I couldn't afford to throw away, I have now had to throw away. Thumbs up. And hey, front-loading of videos, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that too would be awesome. If you could toss me a comment, I love every comment. I answer as many as I can. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are in fact literally beautiful and in fact literally awesome, helping to keep me and my pets alive and moderately safe, moderately sane. It is appreciated to no end. And if you would like to become one of these beautiful and awesome people, there are links in the show more for the video, and that'd be awesome. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I have a PayPal link, and if you'd like to help me out without sending any money, I have an Amazon wishlist link as well with a whole bunch of cat food on it. So if you could check that up, that'd be very good. Yeah, front-loading a video is over, but at the same time, I'm already losing weight. I'm coming close to 10 pounds lost because I'm out of money. I don't have any money to buy food. I have had to cut down the amount. I ate a couple things of yogurt and one meal per day. I don't even have that anymore. So I'm losing weight, and well, payday's in a week, so hopefully I'm not going to get too unhealthy from starving for a week. So thumbs up on that. And yay as well. What's also wonderful is the heat. I've just got a t-shirt on and this now. But let me tell you, right now I'm almost too hot as it is again. That's one of the reasons the box fan fell out of the window. As it is, I had to take the box fan that was in my room to help me sleep at night, and it's in the window. The window is now wide open. There's a wooden dowel on top of the fan holding it, solidly in the window so it's not going to fall. But now it's wide open, and you'd think, hey, it's like 4 times wider than it was before. Surely that would cool the place down. Oh no. And it's not even the heat that's an issue, it's the humidity. Good God. I went out walkies last night, and it was raining, and that's fine. I've done walkies in rain before. With mist, you inhale all that stuff, and it's fine. You're not feeling terrible. Last night, I just wore a shirt and an outer shirt, and I felt like I was breathing a sponge. It was just so humid. Yeah, I gotta take this off already. And this morning it's been roughly the same. It's only about like 70 degrees when you go downstairs. The heater has a little LCD thing on it, and it's like 69 degrees. It's not that much warmer up here, but it's so freaking humid. Oh my God. So thumbs up on that. I'm only dying because of the heat. I overheat easily. So yeah, it's time to get more informal again. See, now I'm freezing because I don't have the shirt on. So I can either be sweating because I have my shirt on, or I can be freezing because I have it off. Male menopause. Anyway, though, checking on my list here to see what else is that I have on there, and that's pretty much it for things that have happened in life. I mean, I had therapy yesterday, and so I didn't get much done for the rest of the day. I've mentioned before with all of my various issues that I have executive dysfunction, which there's real executive dysfunction, and then there's the executive dysfunction that everybody talks about if you have like ADHD and more. Yeah, that's executive dysfunction, but it's not the one they talk about in the books where, there's injury and damage and it's really a bad, horrible thing. But with that, I've got about 2 hours worth of push time and about 300 pounds of pressure I can apply. And every single thing I do, whether I am doing it consciously or subconsciously, uses up some of that push time or some of that pressure that I can exert. So when I fill up on a whole bunch of stuff, I can't exert. So when I had therapy yesterday, that used up almost all of my push time. Sure, I had 300 pounds of pressure that I could use, but I used up all the time. There was no more. I had nothing left to give. So that's joyous. So I got next to nothing done yesterday. Hopefully I can get some stuff done today. That would be a good thing. But if not, again, survival is more important. Live to survive another day. That's about as much as I'm going to say on current events, too. I mean, I reiterate, I also talked about this with my therapist. Yeah, his clients are doing very poorly right now because not only just the state of everything in the world, but the United States in particular, where we have a small group of religious extremists that are dragging our country back into a state very similar to the Taliban. So isn't that great? We have the Western Taliban in charge here, and this is just crushing people. So yeah, if you're feeling the pressure, if you're not able to take it, survival mode. This is bad for everybody. Even the therapists are having to hunker down into survival mode. So it's bad here in the US. I mean, in fact, it's bad in the world. One of the things that I'd heard about the other day, because, Ukraine is pretty much the breadbasket of the world. All the world's wheat comes from the Ukraine, but it's been trapped back behind the Russian blockades. And so a whole bunch of non-NATO nations were getting together to break the blockade. Well, hi, Amelia. Amelia Kitty just woke up meowing. Good Amelia Kitty. And to get that wheat out, because yeah, it's bad, but without the wheat, people are going to start starving to death. So, joy. I don't know what the results are. This is just what I've heard the plan of. So, I mean, World War III hasn't started, so. But yeah, it's bad. So, hunker down, survival mode, do what you can. But that's the way life is going here. I mean, yesterday I had a fair amount of falling asleep stuff because I'm having to take my guanfacine twice a day. So I've got more sleepy stuff in my system than I like. And the Strattera can make you more drowsy when you take cannabis with it. And I take cannabis I smoke cannabis like a chimney because I have so much chronic pain. That's really the only thing that touches it. I used to be on 28 different prescription medications and methadone. I was able to trade all of that for cannabis because it works so well. And of course it makes you sleepier with this ADHD med. So yeah, I did a fair amount of sleeping yesterday, but no time blindness, so the day took forever, which I don't mind. That was good. So, with all of those things that I have talked about, I'm going to try my best to speak about creative endeavors now, things that I can take my own refuge in when the world gets harsh and heavy. The things that I have written down, because there's a whole bunch. I've been semi-fixating on Utokk, and there's some parts of Utokk that I still haven't talked about, and some parts that I would like to. Because I've been so drifty in my creativity, I'm going to spend a bit more time right now talking about Utokk. Because remember, Utokk, as I say, isn't evil. Yes, Utokk eats thousands of human beings every single year, and it is horrific the way we die. But again, this is because Utokk doesn't care. They're not out to cause harm, it's just that we taste better if we're experiencing mind-destroying terror and agony. Utokk simply doesn't care. And if you look at that and go, well, why? Why? We're smart, we're intelligent. Well, relative to us, yeah. I do not know how relevant and true this is right now. But remember, 80% of the world uses insects in their diet on purpose. I saw a video, like I say, must have been 10, 15 or more years ago, where there was this one nation where when it was time to eat, they just sent the kids out with nets and they ran through the clouds of gnats. And then they would bring the nets back to the adults that were just filled with all these squirming gnats. And the adults would get the gnats out and squash them and just make them into burgers. And then would fry the burgers on the hot plates, put the burgers onto the bun, and everyone would eat because it was time to eat. Did any one of those people care about the gnats that they were capturing to eat? No. Utokk is the same way. To Utokk, we are little more than gnats. We don't matter. We don't count. It just doesn't care. And so that's why it ends up being so horrific. At the same time, though, Utokk is not evil because pretty much, I've mentioned before how on the razor's edge, the most common food animal you will find is human beings, and the most common meat product you will find inside of predators' digestive tracts is human meat. Not because we're just easy prey, no, it's because opportunistic prey, when a creature is off to get its full meal, hey, you'd be foolish to leave behind a bit of free protein. Nom. It's because we're everywhere on the razor's edge. You may find just this batch of predators here, this batch here, this batch here, this batch here, but all around are people, everywhere. And so, yeah, we tend to get eaten a lot by everything. Because of that, because human beings are on the menu so much, nobody really freaks out overly about people being eaten. It's like, okay, you know what the thing is. If you see a southern exit, don't go into it. Past that, no one's really going to worry about Utokk. Utokk stays in its own realm. You have to walk into Utokk's domain to get snagged. And with a good propaganda campaign, people don't really believe that Utokk is evil, because Utokk also does things to really just irritate the King in Crimson. They are very similar in power levels, though Utokk is stronger. But Utokk is also an ambush predator and has no desires for colonization or imperializing or anything like that. Yeah, they're powerful, but just because you know they're there, you've already taken away a lot of their strength. One of the things that I also figured is because Utokk has been maturing emotionally and mentally as well as physically, when you expose yourself to new things, you may find out that you're neutral towards something, or you hate it, or you love it. And if you love it, you may find out you crave it. Utokk has discovered they need something out of their interactions with others. Not people. We're just food. It's not even going to consider. Right now, there's the King in Crimson that they interact with and enjoy. And then there's the Pale King, which, no, they don't dare go near because they won't be able to stop themselves from doing something stupid. So the only real peer Utokk has is the King in Crimson. And so I figure, on top of just the general idea of being a douche canoe, Utokk is also not lonely, but again, feels something. And so you would have, like 3 o'clock in the morning, suddenly the King in Crimson is interrupted, whether they're awoken or whether they were doing something, and Utokk calls, but Utokk calls. But what is Utokk talking about? Utokk, let's see if I can find this thing here as a prop. Utokk is talking about how there is a product from the Crimson Kingdom, because in the Crimson Kingdom they package cannabis pre-rolls as well. And he's raving about how good this particular stuff is, because Utokk's mind is still Utokk in the main Utokk body. But Utokk can split its consciousness into about 100 separate other independent pieces of focus that are still Utokk, but are dealing with a thing. each one of those is still Utokk and not a separate being, because when you are multitasking, say you're doing something on your computer, but you got your phone and you're doing something on the phone while you're doing something on screen with your computer. Okay, when you turn off your phone, does that portion of you die and doesn't exist anymore? Or is that portion of you just, oh, now you can start focusing more on this instead? You didn't have a separate you doing something. It was just a bit of focus. Same thing with Utokk. But when Utokk squidges itself into one of the human shells that it makes, everything it feels is relative to the human shell. So yeah, when Utokk takes a pre-roll and starts a smoke, and they feel it. And they feel it relative to the human being in the human shell that they are wearing. So I figure 3 o'clock in the morning, Utokk would call up the King in Crimson one morning and, two-way video phone type thing, and talking about how, oh, this stuff is great. This is good stuff. This is the best. Here, just like, get one of these, and just lights up again, smokes partly, big old lungful of this stuff, leans over and then turns on some music. And it's a Beast in Black song, and then just starts just getting into it, grooving, and then just doing the whole air guitar stuff, and then just really getting into air guitar, standing on like chairs and during the solo parts. And afterward the king is like, and that's when Utokk, of course, after all that, is just, oh. And then with a laugh, a genuine laugh, says, I had forgotten you were even there. This stuff is good stuff. And then disconnects. So called up just to give the King in Crimson an air guitar solo while playing a Beast in Black song. This is also Utokk. The King in Crimson is smarter than every single human being on our planet combined, and Utokk is smarter than the King in Crimson. But at the same time, while all of this is jaded and such because it has been in existence for hundreds of thousands of years, it's all relative to the shell it happens to be having and interacting with you at the moment. Sure, what it's feeling is nothing compared to, Utokk's main stuff, but it's relative to the shell that it's experiencing. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, you've seen the way my brain works already. We have Hanger 1800, and thank you very much for the information. Flora Mew, I wish I'd been around to Goose that time, and yeah, I'm trying to do the best I can. I gotta switch meds out because I've only got the 1 month's prescription for the guanfacine. I don't know. Life is fun. JAYY, thumbs up and thank you. Metal Winged Wolf, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Soul Silicon, greatly appreciated. Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. We have Eddie Money, thumbs up and thank you. Jessica Hope, greatly appreciated. Charlotte's Ghost, thumbs up. Appleseed, greatly appreciated. Did I already thank Lucas? If not, then hey, Lucas, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. Find my place again. We have Charles, greatly appreciated. Ben B. Oh, it's okay to laugh at geese attacking people. It's funny. And then there's Leon Strangler, thumbs up. Wasabi Covered Nuts, thank you very, very much. Julia Ford, greatly appreciated. We have Wolfas, WULFAS. Space Fawns, greatly appreciated. And that is it. 18 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. You got me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. Thumbs up and thank you so much. It is appreciated. Even though it's only for a very short time and only in text, it is appreciated to no end. So I'm going to try and do what I can today, considering how humid and how much I'm overheating already. I'm going to do what I can, at least try and make some phone calls. Hopefully you can get done what you need to get done. Again, if you can't, survival mode. Take care of yourself. Worry about the important stuff on another day. And of course, Cafete Bug Raging, please just take appropriate precautions. Try to be smart about it. Excuse me. Get vaxxed if you haven't. Get a booster if you can. Again, you do not want to throw yourself onto the corpse pile before you have to. Your story ends the moment you're on the corpse pile. You don't want your story to end sooner than it has to. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and I, quite frankly, think that is a very good thing.